Welcome to day 3 of Who is This Loan Officer Person? In episode 1, we talked about types of institutions. In episode 2, the last episode, we talked about types of lending. And today, we're going to be talking about licensing and the NMLS. What is the NMLS? The NMLS is, simply put, a place to aggregate all information related to loan officers and their institutions. Back when I first started in the industry in the late 90s, I was living in Colorado. After having gotten out of college and deciding that cable installation wasn't for me, I went to be a loan officer. I responded to an ad. There was no licensing required, no special training required, no continuing education required, just the ability to make phone call after phone call after phone call, telling people that their rates were too high and that they could reduce their rates and reduce their monthly payment if they just talked to me for 5 minutes. You could literally become a loan officer and your office could be the trunk of your car. As you can imagine, there was some less than scrupulous folks participating in my industry, and there was a lot of shenanigans going on. We can go into that later. Let me know if you're interested. Nevertheless, because of this, it was understood that a national mortgage licensing system was required, and so it was born. Continuing education is education that's required on an ongoing basis. So you have your initial licensing, studying, and test passing. And then on an annual basis, you have to participate in this continuing education. It's basically designed to update you on any new laws and reinforce those laws that already exist that you've learned about last year and the year before and the year before that, etc. Federal regulators. So the NMLS sets out the basic licensing requirements federally for most mortgage loan officers. If you work for a federally regulated bank and you are simply a retail loan officer, you have federal regulators that determine what continuing education is required. In either case, continuing education is indeed required for everyone. So state regulators. If you work for certain types of mortgage institutions, you will be required to get licensing based on the state's rules. States have their own initial licensing requirements and continuing education requirements, along with other types of requirements like making sure that the loan officer is bonded and the loan officer has errors and omissions insurance, etc. So if you work for one of these institutions, you got to follow those rules as well. The NMLS has a standard, and then each state has its own standard on top of that. All right. I hope you enjoyed this third episode. Kept it really short and sweet this time. My name is Mike Collier. I can be reached at my everything number at 650-288-8170. My email and website are right there on the screen. Next episode will be episode 4, and we'll get actually down to the types of loan officers there are. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me and maybe even post a comment in the section below the video. And I'm still working on trying to figure out how that works, but I will get back to you when and if I can. Great. Have a great day.